I guess a fortune would be like, you're going to find someone that you love tomorrow at the fair with a lollipop. Whereas a prophecy is like, the nation of Israel will find a lover at the fair with a lollipop. Hey folks, welcome to Joel Reads Bible. I'm Joel and I read Bible so that you don't have to, and we're reading Deuteronomy. And we're about to read Deuteronomy chapter 18. Now, if it's anything like Leviticus 18, it's going to be all about sesks. I've been reading the Bible too much. I can't even pronounce the word sesk. What's wrong with me? Have I become repressed just because I'm reading Bible? Enough of all that fun, jokey time. I don't know what this is going to be about, but I have a feeling it's not going to be fun and salacious like Leviticus 18, which was all about sesk. Without further ado, because you know I love my adieu, goodbye. That sounds like I'm saying goodbye. Adieu to you and you and you. Okay. Just so you know, when we get to the end of the chapter, you're going to want to stick around because I always mention what I love about this chapter, but I also mention what I loathe. And you might be sitting there going, I love this. Or you might be saying, I loathe that. And you might go, does Joel hold the same opinion that I do about said thing? There's only one way to find out, and that is to watch through the whole entire thing until the end. Don't jump ahead. Do not. Don't jump at. Don't. All right, Deuteronomy chapter 18. The priests and the Levites, all the tribe of Levi, shall have no portion nor inheritance with Israel. It's not a scam. They shall eat the offerings of Yahweh made by fire and his portion. Okay, no inheritance, but they get to eat Yahweh food. Okay. That sounds, bummer for them. I think it's a bummer for them. Yeah, that's bad. I wouldn't like that. I would prefer if I had an inheritance. They shall have no inheritance among their brothers. Yahweh is their inheritance. He has spoken to them. All right, is it that they have no inheritance or that Yahweh is their inheritance? Okay, it can't be P and not P. If it's no inheritance P or Yahweh is their inheritance P, then it's not P. That's not the Bible's not even logical. I'm going to actually use this in a debate. I'm going to take that. I'm going to write this down so that I can, when someone comes in and is like Yahweh grounds logic. Oh, is it logic to have inheritance and also not have inheritance at the same time? Is that logical? Is that logic? Bible sucks. This shall be the priest's due from the people, from those who offer a sacrifice, whether it be ox or sheep, that they shall give to the priest the shoulder, the two cheeks, I think it's the butts, and the inner parts. Oh, they're probably the guts. Yeah, no, I thought like inner between the legs, but that's wrong. No, it's in there. Probably like their guts. You shall give him the first fruits of your groin. I said groin, but I meant grain. I think this is going to be a dry chapter, so I'm trying to zhuzh it up a little bit for you. You shall give him the first fruits of your grain, of your new wine, and of your oil, and the first of the fleece of your sheep. For Yahweh, your God, has chosen him out of all your tribes to stand to minister in Yahweh's name, him and his sons forever. Are we hearing this, folks? I've told you many times that the priests are doing scamming, and this title is just going to be something like, priests are doing more scamming again, because that's what they do. So they're saying there's no inheritance. We don't get anything. What? Oh my goodness. We are just slaves to Yahweh. We don't get anything. We were told, and we're doing this so that you don't have to give up your firstborn. You were supposed to give up your firstborn, but you don't have to do that. We'll do that for you, and we just sit around working for you the whole time. All you have to do is give us shoulders and cheeks and inner parts. Give us the first fruits of your grain and your new wine and your oil and the fleece. You just got to feed and clothe us. Is that so hard? We don't get an inheritance. So you just have to give us like piles of your stuff. What do you mean you think this is a scam? Just take care of us. Yahweh wants it. Who told you that? Yahweh told us. How can we verify that? We wrote it in a book that you guys all saw this. If we wrote it in a book that you guys all saw this, then it would have been true, right? What do you mean, you guys? We mean Hebrews from before. The before Hebrews saw this. It's written down. Just give us what we need to live. We don't get an inheritance. Sounds like you guys are freeloading. We offer a lot. What do you offer? Remember the priest. The one priest killed the other person that they were having sex on the altar. The Midian or the Moabite woman, the way that he did the spear thing. You need us. Remember, Aaron stopped the plague ages ago. That's like 1,000 years ago. Why would we, or like 700 years ago, why would we care? What are you doing? And that's just a story in a book. It's a true story? Who wrote that? Yahweh wrote it. I think you wrote it. What? Just bring me a shoulder. If a Levite comes from any of your gates out of all Israel where he lives and comes with all the desire of his soul to the place which Yahweh shall choose, then he shall minister in the name of Yahweh his God, as all his brothers the Levites do, who stand there before Yahweh. So I guess if he shows up at your town, he can do what he wants. They shall have portions to eat in addition to that which comes from the sale of his family possessions. When you have come into the land which Yahweh your God gives you, you shall not learn to imitate the abominations of those nations. The abominations of those nations. The abominations of those nations. I like that. There shall not be found with you anyone who makes his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, one who uses divination, one who sells fortunes, or an enchanter, or a sorcerer, or a charmer. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. It says you're not allowed to be a charmer. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. Or someone who consults with a familiar spirit, or a wizard, or a necromancer. And divination was used by Joseph. Divination was used by Balaam, who communicated with God. He eventually was killed, but God will communicate with people who do divination. Divination, and also the Thummim and the Nummim, the Ummim and the Thummim, the stones, that you cast lots in order to tell you things. It doesn't seem that far off from divination or even fortune telling or something like that. It's I guess a way that God can speak through these people. It's not miles apart. Someone who consults with a familiar spirit. So it seems like if you talk to the dead, the family, your father has passed on, that's an abomination. What happened when Jesus called Lazarus out? Lazarus was dead. His spirit was beyond the lifetime here. And he called, Lazarus, come forth. That seems like speaking to a spirit of some kind. Is that not necromancy? Sorcery, maybe? I don't know. Is Jesus an abomination? I think Jesus might be an abomination. But at the beginning of this verse, we see, there shall not be found with you anyone who makes his son or daughter pass through the fire. What does pass through the fire mean? I have a feeling that this is speaking specifically to human sacrifices by fire. It doesn't spell it out for us, but I'm going to assume that, because burning a woman alive, if we look at Leviticus 21:9, that is something that Yahweh says that should happen if a priest's daughter sleeps around. So Yahweh's asking for that, and then he's saying that that shouldn't happen. Contradiction. But that's why I think that like burning a woman alive, Yahweh's cool with that. Yeah, he likes it under certain circumstances. He thinks that's what you should do. But this human sacrifice, sort of like passing through fire in a human sacrifice kind of way, we don't like that. That's what I'm going to assume. I don't know for sure, but that's what I'm going to assume. And again, that's me being, I think, fairly charitable with the text. For whoever does these things is an abomination to Yahweh. Because of these abominations, Yahweh your God drives them out from before you. Okay. And this is where we get this idea that like the Canaanites or the Hivites, the Perizzites, the Amalekites, all the ites, these guys are doing these horrible things. And this is going to be, they're charming. One of the main things is they're charmers. They're such charmers. We can't drive them out. They're too charming. Get rid of them. Also, the necromancy, right? So like those things are things that these people are definitely doing, telling the fortunes, this kind of thing. It doesn't say it like directly, but that's what we can infer from this is like that's why we're getting rid of them, because they're doing these things which he said not to do, which is in his law. So they're breaking his law. So the law applies to them as well. And what wickedness is when you don't follow the law. So that's what that means. So everybody's under the law, I would say. Seems like everybody's probably under the law at that point. You shall be blameless with Yahweh your God. For these nations that you shall dispossess, listen to those who practice sorcery and to diviners. But as for you, Yahweh your God has not allowed you so to do. You shall be blameless with Yahweh your God. We're going to get this like conflicting sort of messaging, because we are going to hear at certain times that like, oh yeah, you can't, no, this law is hard. You can't accomplish it. Actually, the law is bad. You were told that you can do divorce because of the hardness of your hearts, and nobody can even achieve the law because it's too hard. But you shall be blameless with Yahweh your God because you're doing things or not doing the things other nations do. So it's like, which one is it? Can we be blameless? Will we be blameless? Is following the law righteousness? Is that how we stay blameless? Is the reason why they're not blameless following the law? Like, how does this system work if at some point the rug of this whole system is going to be pulled out from under it, and we're going to have to somehow renegotiate every single solitary syllable of this silly scripture? I nailed that alliteration. Just off the dome like that? That's incredible. Yahweh your God will raise up to you a prophet from among you of your brothers, like me. You shall listen to him, like me. So that's Moses speaking. It's going to be one of your brothers, like me. It's going to be a prophet, just like me. This is according to all that you desired of Yahweh your God in Horeb in the day of the assembly, saying, let me not hear again Yahweh my God's voice, neither let me see this great fire anymore, that I not die. So I wonder what they're foreshadowing here. I wonder who the prophet is. I wonder if the writers of this story know who the prophet's going to be. I wonder if this is written after the already prophet character exists. I wonder if there's a prophet who they are going to point to with this text, And I wonder how we're going to know who the prophet is. But the motivation of the prophet, or the excuse of why we need the prophet, obviously is because what we've read earlier. When Moses was recounting the story, he's like, you guys were like, no, we got to stay away from this God character. He's scary. Our faces are going to be blown off. So we let you deal with him. But I think this is also Moses being like, okay, I'm going to die. And so we need somebody new. We're going to have Joshua, the leader. We've already seen him be appointed. We have Eleazar, the priest. but we're going to need like a new prophet. Because Moses was kind of like a prophet. This is like kind of setting up the culture, it seems, to have like a bunch of prophets and have profiting be part of their whole thing. For better or for worse, I feel like, the problem with something like this is it's fun because it's like, oh, and there will come a prophet and he will guide you, blah, blah, blah. But you're opening it up for like people to step up and be like, I am a prophet. And then you're like, no, you're not. No, you're not. Not. We don't think you're a prophet. We're the Levitical priest. The Lord speaks through me, and he says, the priests have become greedy in their day, and they shall be dethroned, and the Levitical priesthood put asunder. No, because we wrote here that the Levitical priesthood, here in Exodus, we wrote the Levitical priesthood will be perpetual throughout all the generations. So this is actually something that will always happen. No, I am the prophet, and thus saith the Lord, thou shalt not be doing priest. He's sick of the smell of burning flesh. So he doesn't want any more sacrifices. No. There's a lot of passages here that say the sacrifices will happen throughout all the generations too. We wrote that, right? God said that. We didn't write it in. God said that was what was going to happen. You see what the problem is? Anybody can claim to be a prophet and claim to have words from God, and how are we supposed to verify that? I hope that they spell that out, and they're not just counting on being in control when those types of things happen. Yahweh said to me, that's Moses speaking, they have well said that which they have spoken. I will raise them up a prophet from among their brothers like you. I will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak them all that I shall command him. It shall happen that whoever will not listen to my words, which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him. But the prophet who speaks a word presumptuously in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or who speaks in the name of other gods, that same prophet shall die. This is great, actually. And I think the next section is going to actually answer the questions that I had. I actually hate, but that they did the repetition thing already, right? Where Moses was saying in the narration, he's like, well, there's going to be a prophet like me. You know why? Because Yahweh said to me, there will be a prophet like you. Usually that happens like, in the previous book, like it happens ages ago, and then he retells it. That's boring. But here he just does it like from paragraph to paragraph. You may say in your heart, how shall we know the word which Yahweh has not spoken? Yeah. How will we know that what the guy who's claiming to be a prophet is speaking from God or not from God? And this is going to be good for us to know, because we're going to see a lot of prophets and we're going to not know which words are from Yahweh or not. So let's see what the answer is. When a prophet speaks in Yahweh's name, if the thing doesn't follow nor happen, that is the thing which Yahweh has not spoken. Well, that's pretty simple. The prophet has spoken it presumptuously. You shall not be afraid of him, which means you shall be afraid of prophets. Oh no, it's a prophet. What's he going to do? I don't know. What do prophets do? Prophesy. That's not that scary. He's just going to prophesy. And sick bears at you. Calm down. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Prophets are just doing prophecy. They're just saying things that are going to happen in the future. And if the thing that they say is going to happen in the future does not come true, I don't know when it's supposed to happen. Doesn't really give us a timeline, but you would think that it needs to happen within the generation that he's saying it, because how would they know if it's going to come true or not? I guess if it doesn't come true in that generation, then you didn't have to worry about them, but people in the future maybe need to worry about them. I don't know how great the system is. Is it something that's like, next week you will find your car keys between the cushions of the couch? Next week? Yep. Why next? Can I go find them now? Are they missing right now? No, I got them right here. Okay. Well, they'll go missing next week. You'll find them in your couch. Oh, okay. Because they won't really be missing then if I just go like look at my couch right away. Then they will have been missing for like 5 minutes. They'll fall out of your pocket. Okay. Yeah. Well, you're a prophet then. We'll see if it happens, but if it happens, you're a prophet. It's that kind of thing. Like how soon does it need to happen? We don't know. But that's good to know that like he actually has to prove himself with magic, with prophecies. By the way, no one shall be found with you that tells fortunes. What's the difference between a prophecy and a fortune? Like fortune tellers, are they not just like telling prophecies? I guess they're not saying like, I guess a fortune would be like, you're going to find someone that you love tomorrow at the fair with a lollipop. Whereas a prophecy is like, the nation of Israel will find a lover at the fair with a lollipop. It's like it's so similar. Fortunes are playful and more personal, and then prophecies are like, that nation will be destroyed at the fair with a lollipop, like that kind of thing. But that's very specific, and I don't think that any prophecies are going to be that specific, or if they are, they're also going to have secondary meanings that are going to be very vague and don't entirely fit, but that's the beauty of prophecy. It doesn't actually have to make sense. All right, guys, well, that was fun. What did we love about this chapter? I love the mystery, the fun mystery of the new prophet that is coming. I love that it sets us up for how we know a prophet is a prophet. And that way we can figure out if any of the prophecy in the Bible is real, using some of these rules, I suppose. I also loved noticing that Jesus Christ is a necromancer and is actually an abomination. I think that's kind of neat. It's kind of unexpected, but there's probably some sort of special pleading that will get Christians out of that. So don't you worry. You don't have to stop believing in Jesus Christ just because he's a necromancer. You don't have to do that. I can give you an answer to that. I can fix it for you. Lazarus wasn't completely dead. Like his body was dead, but like his soul hadn't crossed over. So it wasn't really necromancy. And don't start saying, what does crossing over mean? And what is actual necromancy? And what does it mean to bring someone back from the dead? I'm like, don't ask me those questions, because I'll just find them any way I need to define them in order to get out of this. What did I hate? Oh yeah, I hated the ongoing scam of the Levites. I hate that this cult is built on that. I know that all of them are, but like it's annoying to see it all the time and it be so obvious to me, but it's not obvious to Christians. Like I don't understand that. And even like Orthodox Jews, like it is culty, sort of like systems of control, dictatorships based on a God character, and they're doing it. This is look, there's a bunch of them. They're all over the place. And the other thing that's so strange is that like how many of these pastors or priests or whatever are aware of this? Like not only like aware of what's in the text here, but like they're doing it. They're like, yeah, that's what we do. This is the scam, and we are getting paid. And maybe I'm a traveling preacher who does altar calls and makes people feel really good and rededicates their life to Jesus and has another one of their like 18 come to Jesus moments in their life so far, and they're only 15, 7 times a year at youth group, something like that. And this guy's getting paid, and they're passing the plate around, and and he's going home with his fee, he knows it's not real. He knows that the strings sound on the piano there with the familiar melody of that favorite worship song, and the speaking slowly and then getting louder and bigger and louder and bigger, and throwing in some weird tongues and getting everyone jazzed up in order to have this spiritual orgy that they're all going to get off on. He knows what he's doing. They know how to build the program. They're not relying on the Holy Spirit. Maybe if we do these specific moves that are tried, tested, and true to evoke emotion, the Holy Spirit will come down and indwell these people. No, they know what they're doing, and they're getting paid for it, and they know it's not real. I'm sure there's some people in the ministry who think it's true, right? That are doing it from a genuine place. A lot of them have to realize what's going on here and be into it, because they don't get an inheritance, but they are getting paid. All right, guys, have a beautiful rest of your day or night or month or week or maybe even your year. And we will see you next time. Like the video, comment on it, and subscribe if you haven't. And we'll see you next time. Bye.